All right, welcome back to the beautiful people of the Cardano community. What's happening with ADA? Man, it's absolutely insane as to how many comments that I get on a day-to-day basis in support to Cardano. And, of course, there's going to be some trolls here and there that are going to come out and say, Cardano is not moving, this and that. Um, you know, what can I even say to those people at this point? You need to take a look at the bigger picture. And yes, the bigger picture is what's happening over the past few months. When the market turned into the bullish momentum, where was ADA at and where is it now? If you're not paying attention to that and you were worried about some of the other projects that are absolutely killing it and comparing it to Cardano, I've said this a million times. It's no one's fault but yours for not diversifying your portfolio. But now let's get right in today's update. If we're looking at the price of ADA, it's currently sitting at 63.6 cents, almost 64 cents, up 1.2% over the past 24 hours in USD comparative, but in Bitcoin comparative, we're down about 0.1%. Market cap, on the other hand, is holding quite strong around this $22.5 billion mark, with the 24-hour trading volume currently sitting at 363.2 million. So right off the bat, what we could see is that the 24-hour trading volume right now for ADA is not as high as to what we have seen, when we were sitting at some new yearly highs. And of course, that is quite obvious because as of now, the interest in terms of accumulation, in terms of people actually coming in with the demand for ADA is not as high as it was, just about 2 to 3 weeks back. And that's just what you need to realize. I'm not going to sit here and say, guys, ADA has an insane amount of demand. That usually happens during the bear market and the bull market. This is part of the game. If you look at Solana right now, same thing. So this is part of the game. You need to understand that these times will come, and you really need to understand what actually is happening in the bigger side of things. But let's continue. Before I do get into that, as always, just a quick disclaimer: anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrency. So the question that I'm getting on a day-to-day basis is whether or not we're going to see another rally coming up to the Bitcoin halving, because of course I've said this quite clearly in my other updates. Me personally, what I think is that once the Bitcoin halving does occur, we are going to see a pullback. We have already seen a significant pullback in the Bitcoin's price. We're talking about a 14% pullback since its all-time high, which was very much needed. But are we going to see that again? And my answer to that is yes. I don't think it might be this big, but who knows? There's a lot of other things that go into it. It's not just Bitcoin having people selling the news. There could be a news revolving around the crypto space that can impact Bitcoin. But on the positive side, I think very confident actually that we could see Bitcoin reaching all-time highs once again before the halving does take place. And on the bright side, a lot of people tend to forget that interest rates, there will be 3 cuts this year alone in 2023. Feds have announced, and that is good for BTC, that is good for altcoins, and this is where excitement for myself really comes into play. And obviously ETF narrative is playing, and I think we're just getting started, but we'll hold off to that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin halving countdown. So still about 21 more days to go until the Bitcoin halving does take place, which is April 15th, and that's going to come in a snap of a finger. But I do think that we will see a rally leading up to this specific date itself. So that's what I personally think. Maybe a day or two before we might see a correction, but that's my overall projection. But today, if we're looking at the dominance index, Bitcoin dominance is pretty much ranging at the same exact level over the past week and a half, around 53%. So not much has changed on that. BTC is having a little bit of a hard time getting past this key resistance, but over the past few hours, I would say the last 1 hour or so, we are seeing Bitcoin breaking out $540. So could we see Bitcoin pushing out of this key resistance where we're currently literally at, as a recording this update, and retesting the March 21st price, which was at 68K mark? If that happens, that could be really lovely to see. So keep an eye out on Bitcoin. Very, very interesting things happening. And like I said in my Solana update, if you did end up watching it, I don't know which one's going to go live first. I just did the Solana update literally 5 minutes back. But, if it's able to see, Bitcoin climbing to this level, I think this upcoming week could be really exciting for the crypto space. But now that we have that out of the way, let's take a look at Sol. So what you're starting to see happening with Sol is I am honestly not, I'm not shocked as to what's happening. So we're not still seeing the 78.6 Fibonacci retest. And before anyone comes out and says this, I want you guys to realize this is still a move of about 7.3%. So we do need Bitcoin to make up its mind. Right now, Bitcoin has quite a bit of volatility. Best way to kind of take a look at that is just look at the hourly time frame. Pretty much since March 20th, you're seeing quite a bit of volatility within the price of Bitcoin, and that usually does tend to happen because of the futures market. So that's that. Bitcoin needs to find its ground. Obviously, if it's the bullish momentum, Bitcoin breaks out, we are going to see ADA following the momentum. But right now, that is causing, ADA to be pretty stable over the past few hours. I would say the last 2 to 3 days to be exact. But overall, not too concerned as to what's happening. The target remains the same at the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level, and this time around, I think once we enter the 78.6 Fibonacci retracement level, we could see the price of ADA pushing up towards that dollar price point. And again, guys, the dollar price point from the current price targets is about a 58.9% move, which a lot of people might think crypto ZX, that's still a significant move, and I'm not going to disagree with that. But if Bitcoin is able to push towards new all-time highs and possibly reaching $80,000 before the Bitcoin halving, I think this could become a possibility. But what I would really, really like ADA to do, as I've said so many times, is to stay above the bear market cycle. And obviously that is within the 78.6. We've understood by now the importance of the 78.6 zone. You guys can see this for yourself. It used to be a huge resistance, and obviously we did bounce back and forth a few days, and obviously we did break below due to Bitcoin. So those are some factors people tend to forget, but I don't want you to be forgetting that. But so far so good. The fact that we're staying above this key resistance, obviously now this is a key support, I am all for it. And from the January 24th prices, we did see ADA sitting at about 45.94 cents. Since then it has gone up quite a bit, and if you're looking at a pattern forming, you can pretty much see we're starting to see a similar pattern forming. So you can pretty much see, if I were to bring out this measuring tool, we saw a rally dip, potentially to the dollar now, and then maybe we might retest, and then off we go. So something like this could play out. Obviously only time is going to tell, but actually let's do something. I actually want to see how much big the correction was originally back at the beginning of the year. 32% pullback, and let's see how much the pullback was this time around. We're looking at a 26% pullback. So a very similar pattern playing out. So let me know down below your personal thoughts. I'm thinking we will see what I just draw for you guys, the dollar, and then retest, maybe even retesting to the 80 cents, consolidate, and then obviously the Q3 and Q4, crazy historic bull run, which of course only time is going to tell. But as of now, I'm still getting all the signals and signs that we will see that happening. But of course, time is your best thing that you need to be looking out for. But do let me know down below what you guys think. I love you all. See you tomorrow in Crypto ZX, and peace out.